Makima is the master at manipulation in Chainsaw Man. She's so good that she's got the entire division of devil hunters dancing in the palm of her hand. She controls our main characters Denji and Aki effortlessly, using her charm and wit to bend them to her will. To her friends, she's mysterious yet alluring. To her enemies, she's unbeatable and always one step ahead. In this video, we're gonna learn all about the tactics Makima uses to masterfully manipulate the people around her, so that we can better defend ourselves against people trying the same tricks on us in the real world. According to census statistics, 1 in 20 people are psychopaths and will try to manipulate you. Throw in the occasional normal but selfish individual, and that number could go up to 1 in 10. Now, while I'm not encouraging you to use what you learn in this video on other people for ethical reasons, it's worth saying that it's always better to be the manipulator than the manipulated. So if you don't want to end up unwittingly being taken advantage of, I highly recommend you watch this video all the way to the end. Step 1. Blend in. There's a common misconception that we'd be able to tell if a person is psychopathic from a mile away. That's half true. For the lower level psychopaths, it may be pretty obvious, but psychopaths who are really good at what they do will blend in like a snake in grass. There's videos all over YouTube of police interviews with psychopaths, and I've seen a bunch of them, and I'll be honest with you, the psychopaths in those videos seem to me at least like upstanding members of society. Fully cooperative, extremely reasonable, and very likable. Psychopaths trying to manipulate you will match your vibe and be the perfect reflections of the social group they're currently infiltrating. Their social skills are probably better than ours, and that's exactly why the little alarms in our heads don't go off when we're interacting with them. Step 2. Build rapport. A master manipulator must know what people want and be able to sell it to them, whether it be flattery, seemingly benign acts of service, or downright seduction. Psychopaths will use your wants and needs against you. First, they'll make you feel great, they'll tell you everything you want to hear, they'll make empty promises, you'll be on cloud 9 in your first few interactions with a manipulator. Because their goal in this early stage is to make you like them in the worst case, and get you addicted to their presence in the best case. You can see this in Chainsaw Man when Makima first meets Denji. She doesn't quite blend in very well, like we can tell there's something obviously off about her right from the start, but she plays this second step to perfection, showering Denji with promises of good food, affection, basically dangling his wants and needs right in front of him like a carrot on a stick. And here's where she takes it one step further. She actually follows through. She actually buys him food, she actually gives him what he wants, even when he doesn't ask for it. And that causes Denji to fall helplessly under her control. But notice, Makima doesn't give him everything. Because once you completely satisfy someone, then you don't have anything left to dangle in front of them, and your power of influence over their actions greatly diminishes. But either way, building rapport, getting people to like you, and more importantly, to trust you, that's step 2, which sets the stage for step 3, conditioning. Here's where it gets a little dark. Master manipulators will use their ability to make their targets feel good to train them to do the things they want. In psychology, that's called operant conditioning. This tactic is extremely potent. It's so powerful that it not only works on humans, it works on animals too. The most easy to understand application of operant conditioning is trying to train a dog to do tricks. Let's say you're trying to teach a dog to climb stairs. Let's say your dog has never interacted with stairs in his life, and he's even afraid of them and won't go near them. So first you wait around, and when your dog does anything to interact with the stairs, maybe he gets curious and goes near them, then bang, you reward him with a treat. Do this a few times and your dog is really starting to like the stairs. You don't give him any more treats until he, say, puts a paw on the first step, then bang, treat again. Then he's comfortable with 1 paw, you wait until he puts 2 on, then you reward him. And you repeat this until the dog figures out how to climb stairs. And this doesn't just work for simple tricks either. The guy who discovered operant conditioning got so good at it, he managed to train pigeons to guide missiles in World War II against the Nazis. Okay, so we're more than halfway through the video. If you're finding any value in this video at all, why not take half a second to subscribe? We do breakdowns about this kind of stuff all the time on this channel. Alright, back to it. How does operant conditioning work on humans? Well, all you do is find a reward that makes your target feel good. It can be food, compliments, affection, and you're in business. Every time they do something you want, you reward them with it, and you've got them almost literally eating out the palm of your hand. Step 4. Flip the script. So now you've got your target well trained to do the things that you want them to do. Here's where it starts to get downright evil. At this point, master manipulators will start to play with their victims' emotions. Gaslighting, guilt-tripping, dehumanizing. It starts off light at first, just a casual, hey, why'd you do that? I didn't like that. To get the victims to doubt themselves. And because the victims trust the manipulator and they're receiving so much positive emotion from the previous steps, they're more than likely to assume themselves in the wrong and the manipulator in the right. Slowly but surely, the psychopath will push these boundaries. Hey, you're being kind of ungrateful. You're taking me for granted. You're destroying our relationship. One step at a time, always increasing in intensity. The psychopath will eventually leave the victim feeling confused, guilty, and broken. Psychopaths know very well how driven by emotions people are. Human beings want other people to like them, especially if it's people they value and trust. And master manipulators abuse this knowledge to perfection. The primary goal of this stage of manipulation isn't to get total control over the victim just yet. It's to emotionally manipulate them into isolation. When a psychopath has gotten to this stage, they'll usually try to start detaching you from your friends and family, so that they themselves can be your one and only source of positive emotion. If you're starving and there are no restaurants open, then you gotta eat at home. And once victims get to this point with a psychopath, it's really hard to break free of their grasp. Step 5. Unpredictable rewards. Being hardcore emotionally manipulated for the entirety of a relationship can work to keep less self-aware victims under you. But if you want to keep smarter victims working for you for longer, then you've got to sprinkle in some unpredictable rewards. When I say unpredictable rewards, I don't mean giving them something random from time to time. I mean rewarding them for good behavior, just like step 3, but just not every time. In the 1940s, the same guy who trained pigeons to play ping pong discovered that if you rewarded a specific behavior consistently, then animals would only perform the action when they wanted the reward. Mice, for example, were trained to push a lever, and every time they pushed the lever, they would get a food pellet. At first, the mice were pushing the lever all the time, but gradually, they pushed it less and less, eventually only pushing it when they needed food. They kinda got used to it. But if you made it so that the food pellet doesn't come out every time, if you introduced an element of randomness into the behavior, then what would happen was the mice were pushing that lever like there was no tomorrow. And the same logic applies, perhaps even more so, to humans. If you're texting with a girl and she replies you instantly and every time without fail, then it's really nice at first, but after a while, it's just expected behavior. You get used to it. But if she replies sometimes quickly and sometimes after hours or even not at all, then when you do finally get a text back from her, it's gonna feel amazing. You'll feel way more excited, way more rewarded. Your brain gets a way bigger hit of dopamine. That's just human nature. So what a world-class psychopath will do, after they've earned the trust of their victims and figured out how to reward them and isolated them from their friends and family, is emotionally abuse them, yes, but also reward them sporadically. That way, the victim experiences positive as well as negative emotion from the manipulator, making it way harder to realize that they're being manipulated like a pawn on a chessboard. Okay, we've talked a lot, so let's recap. Manipulative people are out there, and there are a lot of them. So keep these 5 things in mind, and you'll be able to recognize when others are trying to manipulate you. Step 1. Blend in. Don't assume just because someone passes your vibe check that they aren't going to completely screw you over. Step 2. Build rapport. Be careful of people who seem overly friendly and sociable. Step 3. Operant conditioning. Have your eyes and ears open when dealing with someone who makes you feel really good. Don't let them train you into becoming a missile guiding pigeon. Step 4. Emotional manipulation. Recognize when people are intentionally making you doubt yourself and playing the victim. Step 5. Deliver rewards unpredictably. If you find yourself going out of your way to please someone all the time, to perhaps an unhealthy degree, then watch out. You could be being manipulated. And if you suspect that you're being manipulated by other people or even just being pushed around a lot, then it's crucial you learn to stand up for yourself in the right way, because that's effectively the only antidote to manipulation. And that's exactly what this video is about. So click on that and make what you learned in this video 10 times more valuable, and I'll see you there.